Nilay Patel, who joins us here on set. It's good to see you.
It's good to be here in person with you.
Hold on, you weren't just in the room, you were also in Cupertino earlier that day and then flew here for the panel.
I was not allowed on Tim's jet down here, but I was in Cupertino in the morning, saw the new iPhones, and then got to see Tim and Johnny Ive and Lauren Powell Jobs.
One thing Cook said was, look, I don't want to guess as to what Jobs would have thought about today's moment in tech, but it did lead to conversations about their current view of privacy, right? Privacy, innovation, and the like.
Yeah, I think, the panel was about Steve Jobs, about his legacy. He was the first guest here at Code 20 years ago. So a lot of the questions were, what would Steve think? And a lot of the answers were his ideals still permeate the company, particularly around privacy, where Steve famously said, you got to ask again, ask a third time. I think that is in some tension with where Apple is now. They are not the upstart. They're not fighting Microsoft anymore or any of the other competitors they had, and they are starting to build an ads business. And I think the most interesting thing that Cook said yesterday was digital advertising isn't bad on its face. It's bad if you track people without their consent. We think we can do it a better way. We have to see if any of that actually works. But it's a big move that they're making.
Well, and that's my question. Do you buy that? And, I think Kara said similar comments to us yesterday. She said that they're going to do it with privacy in mind. That's where they're starting from versus a Facebook or a Meta that starts with tracking. And he called it surveillance even. I mean, he's not backing away from those comments, even as he pushes into advertising. So what's the bar? How will we know if Apple's doing this in the right way for consumer privacy?
Right before Cook came on stage, Evan Spiegel was on stage. What did he say? To save Snap, we're going to do low funnel, direct targeted advertising. We're going to do bottom of the funnel, find user intent. That's where the money is. Well, if that's where the money is, you need to know what people like. You need to serve them the right ads at the right time. You need to drive them to a purchase. If that's where Apple thinks the money is, they are going to have to profile some customers in some way and serve them some ads with some targeting. And we have yet to see how any of that will actually work.
John?
Well, Neil, we've got a little bit of a roadmap to it with Apple's differential privacy approach, where they think they can kind of create an anonymized cohort of people so you can target to them without knowing too much about them and without Apple retaining that information. And to me, I think, interestingly, this isn't the first time that Apple would be venturing into this area. You remember iAd from back in 2010, more than a decade ago. Jobs himself made forays into this area, but back then Apple didn't have all of the ingredients to make the full dish. So much of what Tim Cook's Apple is able to do, I think, is put together ingredients that Steve Jobs himself didn't have and fulfill some of that vision.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely right. And I think fundamentally it was fascinating that both iAds and iTunes Ping came up on stage last night, like notable failures of the Steve Jobs era. But Cook brought up iAds and said, this is a thing we were already doing. And we'll see if they can thread this privacy needle, because you can do differential privacy. You can do all the tracking on the phone, maybe locally. That Apple's really good at that. But at some point, you got to tell an advertiser whether they sold a product. And that is where things get really dicey.
So it was interesting. They did talk about that Steve Jobs legacy a lot. And one of the most important things that is extremely successful for Apple is the idea that they should own its own primary technology that was left over from the Steve Jobs days. And that has led them to create their own chips, their own processors. So where do you put that in the announcement yesterday? Because it was notable that only the highest end iPhone is going to have the newest processor. How does that fit into the Apple strategy? How they didn't change the price, didn't raise the prices, how they want to sell them going forward?
Yeah, I think Apple is slowly running into the same supply chain problems as everybody else. The new chip, the A16 Bionic, their first 4-nanometer chip with TSMC, so they're on the bleeding edge node, but they're keeping the old chip on the older node. I think they just have supply there. The other thing that I think really interesting as Apple talks about owning its primary technologies, they bought Intel's modem division. We have not heard a peep about connectivity changing over in these iPhones. And that is like what is the most primary technology of a phone is the connectivity, its modem stack. And they haven't seemed to have cracked it yet. Still relying on Qualcomm.